Welcome to the Plant-Based Podcast. Did you know that plants are truly amazing? Not only can you grow them and eat them, you can also wear them, drink them, nourish your skin with them, and so much more. Let Ellen and Michael inspire you to love plants as much as they do, as they chat with the movers and shakers in this wonderful plant-based world. So, let's dig in.
Brought to you with Lava Light. Whether you're a novice gardener, specialist grower, or houseplant enthusiast, Lava Light can help you to nourish and protect your plants all year round. The collection comprises 8 different horticultural growing media and pest control products, each continually offering the same natural benefits from thermal protection and moisture retention to soil conditioning and continued nutrient boosts. Derived from volcanic deposits, Lava Light is completely natural and sustainable. Look out for it online or in your local gardening stores.
Hi, this is JJ from Bearded Growers. Give you our New Year's resolution, which is to bring you the UK's #1 horticultural radio show on our new slot on Cotswold Radio starting in March. Please come and check us out. But in the meantime, stay fresh and keep it hip and happening with Michael and Ellen Mary's Plant-Based Podcast.
Hello, I'm Lorraine and I'm from the Cayley Brothers. We're mushroom farmers down in the heart of Sussex. Our New Year's resolution this year is to get more people growing their own mushrooms at home. It's super easy and a real wonder. And not only are homegrown mushrooms delicious, they're also packed full of nutrients and goodness. Good for our minds, good for our bodies, and good for our soils. So why don't you join us in 2023 and get growing your own mushrooms too?
Hello, Claire Mattison here. I'm the Director General at the RHS and keen gardener, keen nature lover. My New Year's resolution is to grow some new varieties of squash next year. Looking forward to getting a break over Christmas and looking at some seed magazines and deciding which ones to go for. I go for taste first, then look.
Hello, it's Chris Young here. I'm the consultant gardening books publisher for DK for Dorling Kindersley. I'm also a landscape designer and also a gardens consultant. Now, those young whippersnappers on the Plant-Based Podcast have asked about resolutions for 2023. Well, I hope you've got plenty of airtime, Michael and Ellen, because this could be a long one. Because I have more resolutions than Michael Perry has tattoos on his body. Not that I've counted them, but I'm probably guessing. Some of my resolutions really are about going places. I haven't been to enough gardens in the last couple of years. I need to go and see more gardens. I also need to go to more specialist plant nurseries to learn about plants that I haven't grown or plants that I have grown and killed, or things that just to make my eyes open a bit more to understand some different plants out there. I changed my career in 2022 and became self-employed, and as a result, I didn't go to as many flower shows. So again, in 23, I need to go to the different flower shows to see the latest news and latest products and ideas that are in the flower shows. But the one resolution I know I'm going to do, because I've done it before, and that's getting up about 10-20 minutes earlier each morning and going straight into the garden. Now, some people may do this already, but it's something I did in 2020 and 21 during lockdown, and it made such a difference. But it's lapsed in the last year or so, and I need to do it again. Just getting up that bit earlier, putting on your old clothes, going to do some weeding or some planting or pruning or a bit of tidying. It makes such a difference, not only to your mind frame, the rest of the day you feel happier and a bit more engaged before the crazy world of emails and social media and all of that goes on. But also you feel that you're on top of the garden, because cumulatively, week by week, month by month, you're a little bit more on top of it and you feel there are fewer jobs to do maybe. So it's something that I'm going to be doing in 23, getting that up that little bit earlier and enjoying my garden that bit more.
Hey guys, Happy New Year. this is our first episode of Series 10. So we are talking to a dahlia farm called Fam Flower Farm. And it just so happens to be the first day of the year that their website opens. And it's going to be a busy one because we know you guys are crazy for dahlias. So I hope you really enjoy the interview and you hop onto their website and start ordering your tubers, which I'm sure you will be. This episode, Ellen and I have been having a bit of a break over Christmas. So there's no kind of gossip peppered into this episode. But what we have got is a lot of your favourite voices, as it were, giving their New Year's resolutions most importantly. So I hope you'll enjoy hearing some of those. Mine and Ellen's are in there as well. And it will inspire you in 2023 in the garden. 2023, doesn't that sound cool? Oh my gosh. Anyway, Series 10, we've got lots of new contributors as well. You've got Worcester terrariums in this episode and urban herbs as well. So listen out for those. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the interview and we will see you next week. Have fun. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, Happy New Year. It's Ellen Mary here. As Michael was saying, this episode is going to be about dahlias, and I am, of course, a dahlia fanatic, like most gardeners. I realise not everyone, but I reckon 99.9% maybe. I've been growing dahlias since I don't even remember, so many years ago, and there's just so many varieties. But the great thing about them is there is always another one to try. So I am definitely going to be on Fam Flowers' website the second that the new website is open, looking at all of their tubers. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'm definitely going to be looking at my cut flower calendar right now.
So from their family flower farm in Holland, Marlis and Linda grow many cut flowers, including daffodils and tulips. But today they are here on the podcast to chat about the exquisite and huge range of dahlias they also grow and sell from their farm, which is close to the famous Kirkenhof Gardens.
Absolutely. And with 150,000 Instagram followers, their passion for sharing the love of floral happiness is spread far and wide. So welcome to the podcast, ladies.
Hello. Hi.
It's lovely to have you here. It really is. And what better podcast episode could there be than to talk all about flowers? First of all, just for our listeners to get to know you a bit better, can you tell us about your backgrounds and the history of the flower farm?
Actually, we are two different farms because I married Hubert a long time ago, and he is the dahlia farmer. And Linda married Henk, and he grows tulips and daffodils. And they both grow their own products. And Linda and I, we are friends since middle school. And we were always talking about the farms of our husbands and how hard work they do every day. And it's all about the products are going to the export companies in big crates. And they didn't show anything of the beauty of the products. And this is why we started our own flower farm to sell the products to the consumers and to show something about the farm. So actually, I'm not. I had another job as well because I did not always work on the farm. In the years before, I was a building constructor. What is that? So I worked in the construction world for a long time, and since a few years, I'm more working on the farm and selling the products. And for me, I'm Linda. I used to always to work in the flower business, but more on the marketing and sales side. So now it's finally time to sell my own products. So
we love that. Come together and sell your own stuff.
Yeah, so before we kind of talk more about Fam Flower Farm, that kind of movement, tell us a bit of a picture of kind of like a dahlia production farm. What would a year cycle look like on that type of farm?
Yes, the season, you mean?
Yeah. What happens when?
Yeah. We start to make the cuttings because we always we plant the cuttings on the fields. And start planting the cuttings around the first week of May. And it always depends on the weather because they can't have any frost. So it's very important. The weather forecast is good. And then we can start to plant all the cuttings, and we plant them all by hand. There's no machine to plant all the cuttings. So we do it all by hand on the fields. And so we plant a few weeks with a couple of people to get all the cuttings into the fields. And then the cuttings start to grow on the fields. And not only the dahlias start to grow, but also the weeds start to grow.
Yeah.
So we have to remove the weeds June, July. And in that period, the plants start growing and they cover the whole the soil. And so it's enough. Then we don't have to pull out the weeds anymore. So the plants start to grow. And yes, we have two type of fields at our farm, because we have the fields who stay green all the time, and we mow them every week. So there aren't any flowers at all, because these are the tubers we sell at the end of the season. So we want to have the best tubers. So we mow them every week during the summer period, and we have a few fields who are in full bloom, because we have to control the fields in the summer period. Mm-hmm. Check all the varieties and all the colors of these fields. And yes, this is our little paradise in summer. So, and when the control has been done and the blooming flowers are controlled by the inspection agency in the Netherlands, we can mow them off as well. So then we only have the green fields, the green leaves. And when it's around half October, we start harvesting the tubers. At this moment, we are harvesting all the tubers from the fields, because they must be out of the ground before frost period starts. So it's always a risky period for us. And as soon as the weather is good and it's warm, it's no problem at all. But when when it's getting colder, my husband gets nervous and he doesn't sleep anymore. All tubers must be in the shed. And we harvest them a few days a week, and we bring them from the fields to our shed. And in the shed, we have people working, and they all control every tuber. Sometimes they have to cut off a little bit from the old plant if it's not well cut at the field. And we weight all tubers, and we control them, and we count them, and then we can deliver them to our web shop and to the export companies, and then the product is done.
Wow. That's cool. That's really interesting, I think, for people to learn like the life cycle of how plants are produced as well, because it's easy just to buy them in the garden centre and you don't realise all the work that goes into that across a whole year.
Yeah, a lot of work by hand still. Not everything can be done by a machine.
Absolutely.
The most shocking video that you must put on Instagram is when all the heads are being cut off, right? People are like, what? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we can all make the whole world cry.
When you said that you mow one field and then you leave the other to bloom, I just thought at home the listeners are going to be cringing right now that you just keep on mowing in the summer. Tell us, what's your mission? So, you know, what's the mission of Fam Flowers for you? What do you want to do for the consumer, or, you know, what's the plan?
Yeah, well, on Instagram, we always use the hashtag spread the love of flowers. And that became actually our mission. So we want to be people making happy with the flowers in their own garden and just enjoying them, the tulips in the spring or the dahlias in the whole summer. And even still now, they're full in bloom. And the people are sharing how their gardens looks and how they enjoy the flowers. And it's so much joy. And it already starts with the unboxing, because people, when they receive our box, they're already starting to spread some flower love, because we really make it a present, like a gift box that you receive. So it's really fun to see that the people who are our customers, they also help us to share the love for flowers. So it's a great job.
But I guess you kind of started the company as a way of kind of selling to like females in a way, if we're going to be sexist for a moment. Because I remember when I met you girls last in Holland, we were talking about the whole concept behind it. And you are kind of really adding that feminine touch to, intentionally to a lot of that literature and labels, aren't you?
Yes. Well, I worked in the flower and plant business for a lot of years already. And there's always the men who decide upon product range, who decide what's going to buy next year. And I think, we see in our audience, 95% is women buying our products. And we add the female touch to everything we do. So we develop the packaging and everything the way we like it. And we say, if we like it, it's done with a female touch. And we have experienced that our audience also likes it, what we do. So we keep on going.
That's cool. And your companies weren't selling to the public before you started Fam Flowers, is that right? You were just kind of trading?
Yeah, only wholesale, export, and also other flower farms, but not consumer. No, it's all different business.
Definitely.
My name's Andy and I run a company called Urban Herbs. I really wanted to recommend and share with you two of my favourite herbs to enjoy in the very early spring herb garden. This is such a special time in our growing spaces as we are so eager for new life to return. We crave the excitement and hope that spring brings with it. And in my herb garden, it's all about the flavour. One of my absolute favourite varieties in the early spring herb garden is the gorgeous variegated lemon thyme. Sure, it looks fantastic throughout the year, providing a constant presence in the herb garden throughout the coldest months. But when the low-level sunlight of spring hits the variegated foliage of this variety, it really does look stunning. The flavour just seems perfect for using on chilly nights, providing a really strong, sweet citrus flavour. It's so delicious when used to season fish or chicken dishes. My second favourite variety of herb in the early spring herb garden is hot and spicy oregano. This is a variety which combines the classic and gorgeous flavour of oregano with a spicy kick. I find that during the early spring this kick seems particularly potent, which I absolutely love. This is perfect for adding to homemade fajita dishes or to lend a new and spicy twist to a classic pasta dish or homemade pizza. I genuinely try not to play favourites with my herbs, but if I did, I think that hot and spicy oregano would be close to the top of the list. The spring herb garden is such an exciting place, filled with magic as life slowly begins to return. These are definitely two varieties that make my own spring herb garden a little bit more special, and it makes our spring kitchen recipes so much more delicious. Both of these varieties are really easy to grow. They're fully hardy. They'll enjoy a sunny position in nice free draining soil, perfect for adding to a container or even a hanging basket. I like to keep all my pots nice and close to the door, especially in this early spring period when you don't want to be venturing too far on a chilly evening. I really hope that you're inspired to enjoy the spring herb garden and perhaps add these two varieties to your collection of herbs this spring.
Hello Ella, Mary and Michael, it's Emma Britton, Decorative Glass Designer here. Thanks for having me back. My New Year's resolution, plant-based of course, is to introduce some more wildlife-friendly planting in my studio garden. My studio is based on an industrial estate, so I think it's really important to do all I can to help the local insect population to thrive. And a little bit of colour always helps with my design inspiration.
Hey, plant-based podcast. This is KK with Flora Funga Podcast. I love what you're doing. I love bettering myself and learning new things. My New Year's resolution this year is actually to do more exercises upside down. So doing more handstands, cartwheels, more things like that with being upside down because that is so out of my comfort zone. So why not give that a try?
Hello, my name's Michael Holland and I am a self-employed nature educator. It's embarrassing to say that my New Year's resolution for 2023 is actually to do a little bit of gardening, because I've kind of neglected my own garden here in Northeast London quite a lot in the last couple of years, which has meant that it's turned into quite a beautiful wildlife garden, but the brambles are winning. But then, you let the brambles win, you get lots of blackberries. So it's kind of a bit of a balance. But definitely need to spend more time in the garden, doing some hands-on, getting my hands in the soil and get some vegetables in and refresh it all.
Hi everyone, it's Lorna Coe here. I'm a garden guest presenter on QVC, and I'd like to share with you at the Plant-Based Podcast my New Year's resolution is going to be to do up my patio area in my garden. I've done a lot of work in my garden in 2022, but the patio area is looking a bit bare, so I'm really excited to get some new furniture and some new containers and plants and just really make it ready for the spring and summer.
So let's dig into dahlias, because that's kind of the main subject of what we're going to talk about today. So how many types do you actually grow? How many varieties and how many different groups? Because for me, dahlias is something I remember growing with my grandparents. Then they weren't trendy for so many years. And then something happened. I think it was Instagram that is at fault for this. But now the world loves dahlias. They can't get enough of them.
No, you're right, because we grow about 250 different varieties.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Most people know the decorative varieties. And these are the ones maybe you know from a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And then were yellow and red and that kind of colors. And now we can show the people how many beautiful varieties exists. Mm-hmm. And and now we can share it on social media and people see the different varieties. And even if they're walking on the fields, if they visit us and they see the varieties, they tell us, oh, this is not a dahlia. I'm sure this is not a dahlia, but there are so many different varieties.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
And lucky gardeners that there are so many different varieties. Like there's literally 10 dahlias for every person, I think.
What's your favorite one, Ellen?
Oh my gosh.
I think I know this. Do I know this or not?
You probably do. I love Wine-Eyed Jill.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the very early dahlias that I started to grow, which was many years ago. But what I loved about it was every sort of summer through to autumn. So summer, end of summer and autumn, it changes colour. So like it began with just this light pink, and then it has like the reddy eye in the middle, hence the name. But then it kind of turns a peachy and then it goes yellow. So you've got like 4 dahlias in one. That's cool. And that's why I was completely hooked on dahlias kind of ever since, really. And it's been amazing to watch so many people, like you said, Michael, really the rise of Instagram gardeners that have completely embraced dahlias for what they are, And I grow Kelvin Floodlight, which is the massive dinner plate. Yeah. It's kind of garish, and it's not to everyone's taste, but it's just so big, and it's like a big ball of sunshine on the allotment,
That's cool. My favourite one, I don't grow dahlias very much, but it's tartan, which is like almost black and white, isn't it? Quite hard to find that one, isn't it?
We grow it.
But I bet it's expensive, right?
It's an expensive
premium.
Yeah. I know that Cafe Olay had a bit of a thing in 2018 where everyone loved that, and I know people still like that. But I really love Bohemian Spartacus, which is a really deep red, and it has just little spots of white. But the funny thing is, so this is my second year growing it, and there's tons of flowers on it, but they're all red, and I haven't got any of the white. Like I feel like it's missing its Spartacus. Yeah. But I cut one, and it had one single petal of white. And honestly, I was so thrilled with this dahlia that just had this. I was like, yes, it's found its Spartacus. Next year is going to be fully red and white. Do you have any favourites yourself? Before we talk about maybe some tips and stuff for listeners, are there any that you love yourself? Because like if you grow 250 different varieties, how do you pick?
Yeah, well, when we are on the field, we have a new favorite every day. It's impossible. But grow in my garden. I grow, I think, 10 or 12 different varieties. Yeah. And my favorite is Wizard of Oz.
Oh, I love the pink, the pale pink.
Yeah, pale pink, and it says it's a ball dahlia, but a bit smaller. It's not pompon, but it looks a bit like pompon, and they're so cute. It gives so much flowers and good stems and good face life. I really love it.
Yeah, that's really pretty. I agree with you. Any other favorites? You gotta have more than one.
The most easy one to mention is Joey Winnie, because when I walk on the fields, I must always make a photo of it. So always going there, and it's such a beauty.
What is that one? Joey
Winnie.
Joey Winnie. I don't know that one. I'm going to have to Google it. Oh, that's cool.
That's a beauty.
It's like ombre colour, and it's a nice big pom-pom, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a real beauty. Cool. But we grow several Joey varieties with the ball dahlias, and they're all perfect.
I mean, we could talk about varieties forever, couldn't we? Because there's just so many. But one I found recently is Happett's Blue Eyes, and it's really big and white, but the tips of each petal have like a little lilac colour on. But it's grown. It's like huge. It's almost like the biggest kind of pom-pom. I don't even know what type it is. And I was like, when I cut it, I was like, I can't even put that in a vase because it's just going to fall over. It was just totally beautiful.
Hi, my name's Mike, also known as the Mediterranean Gardener, and my New Year's resolution is to get into bokashi. I'm a bit of a nightmare when it comes to turning my compost heap, and I've been told that bokashi is a bit more of a set and forget process. So that's my New Year's resolution.
Hello everyone, my name is Megan, also known as the Carnivorous Plant Girl on Instagram. I specialise in the subject of carnivorous plants and aim to spread awareness on the care, propagation and research of these wonderful plants through my writing and YouTube videos. My New Year's resolution is to write a book which will focus on the propagation of carnivorous plants along with their general care and maintenance.
Hi, I'm Gardener Ben, the person behind the North Lodge Cottage Garden accounts on Instagram, Facebook and YouTube. New Year's resolutions are always really tough, and I'm always trying to be the best person I can possibly be. In the garden, I really hope to be disciplined and sow in much smaller batches. Everything always seems to come at once, and you can never quite get through the harvests that you produce. I'd like to be able to not give quite so much food to my chickens. At home, I'd like to listen to my body more. Being a full-time gardener is really hard work, especially when you do it full-time all day and come home to 3/4 of an acre, which often needs an awful lot of attention. During the summer months, this can often mean I'm working at dawn till dusk and have very little time to enjoy my own growing space. So by listening to my body more and stopping when I need to, I'm going to avoid burnout and hopefully enjoy my own space.
Hey everyone, this is Ben Newell. I'm a content creator and founder of Worcester Terrariums. New Year's resolutions. So I hadn't really thought about this until I read the email from Michael. I suppose I want to continue to exercise 4 or 5 times a week because that really has a great effect on my mental health, as does the healthy eating. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy drinking a burger at the weekend, but Monday to Friday, I try to keep things as healthy as possible. I want to increase my YouTube upload to 2 to 3 times a week, and I want to nurture the audience I've got because I think it can be easy to focus on constantly growing, and perhaps that has an adverse effect on our audience. So I want to nurture the community and the audience that I have already.
Let's talk about. let's give listeners some tips before we carry on. Obviously the rise of growing dahlias is astronomical over the past couple of years. It's wonderful to see, but there's always the conversation about how to grow them. Should you pot them? Should you lift them? Should you store them over winter? Do they need water? All of those kind of things. What tips would you give listeners for growing them at home?
Yeah, well, I think an important tip is because we hear a lot of stories, and also we get questions and problems from all over Europe, and we see so many differences because the climate is different, the soil is different. So you have to learn a little bit for yourself. So somebody else, they need a lot of water, but somebody else says, no, don't water too much. They get lazy. So you have to find out a little bit for your area and for your soil what works best. I think that's the important one to start with.
Definitely. And with all the varieties that you grow, do you leave them in or lift them every year, every single one?
Now we lift them because we can't have any risk, and we want to sell them.
Yeah.
It depends where you live, because we live near the sea, and in Holland the winters are not very strong, but you can have a strong winter, and then everything might be gone. So it is a risk if you leave them in the ground. But here, Linda's.
My parents,
they have dahlias for about 30-40 years in the same spot around.
Outdoors, just as a perennial almost.
Yeah.
Wow. It's pretty cool.
Bigger and better every year.
But we live near the coast, and so the winters are not that strong.
And also, we sandy soil, so the water will go away, so it will never stay too wet, because that's a risk.
I love that Dutch soil. That would be a dream for me to grow on, honestly. I just have this most horrible clay soil, and it's just really hard to work with. I love a Dutch soil.
I have sandy soil on my allotment. And,
your soil is nice there.
It's really nice. I'm very lucky because, I didn't know when I took the space on, but the dahlias stay in. I don't lift them. They get mulched every year, and they're doing fine. So that's good. But yeah, like you said, if you're on a heavy soil and you're going to have a bad winter, then you might lose your dahlias. So it really depends. Good advice. It depends on where you are and what your soil is like, basically.
You can take the risk, and if they die, you can choose some new varieties. That's a big advantage.
Yes. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity.
So kind of with the dahlias, like if you've got a garden at home, have you actually got that full of dahlias yourselves?
My garden at home? Yeah, well, I planted a new garden.
Yeah.
I definitely have a big dahlia corner now. But what I also did is plant some really huge pots. I put Dahlia tricolor in it.
Nice.
It was really amazing, and it's still flowering.
Oh, that's cool. I think a lot of people are finding that dahlias are still blooming. They're almost coming into a golden moment at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. I think the weather is so warm still.
Yeah, totally. I wanted to ask, really, rather than asking a few kind of tips about daffs and tulips, I want to know kind of what differences do you see between how daffodils and tulips are sold and dahlias? Because obviously you're both bringing different sets of experience to the Flam flower range with that. So do you have a different type of customer for that? Is there a lot of crossover, kind of like colours? What kind of intel do you have?
Yeah, I think there's lots of crossover because we see customers coming back. We see that the audience for dahlias is getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So, not sure. It's a totally different plant. So,
yeah, and a totally different season as well, isn't it? Yeah.
For example, we see this year narcissus is getting more and more popular.
Okay.
Also promoted it more because it's like a perennial. You can leave it in the ground. It comes back year after year. It even naturalizes. So it's really thankful. And also there are lots of varieties that are not just yellow with a buck trumpet, but also double flowered with a little bit of pink and orange or totally white. So I think people are discovering also the narcissus or the daffodils.
That's cool.
Interesting.
And obviously that is a big world as well, isn't it? Daffodils and tulips. Oh my gosh.
Well, the Netherlands is of course famous for its tulips.
Yeah.
So
I have to ask, like I looked at on your Instagram and it just looks so beautiful there. And you're obviously very close to Keukenhof. Are you open to visitors? Can people come and walk around your fields and see what you're growing?
Yeah, we organize a few days a year. We organize visits at our fields. So for a short period, we are there on the fields and we tell the people about the flowers and they can walk around and they can see everything. They can make lots of photos because also have a lot of props, and we make nice combinations. Moment for us to talk with people, because otherwise we are always on the social media or by email. And then we can really talk with the people, and for us it's great as well.
That has to be a seriously Instagrammable place to visit, that's for sure.
Do you remember, obviously you're kind of like, you've got a big Instagram following. Do you remember the moment where it suddenly kind of propelled? Was there like a day and you suddenly looked and you were like, whoa, we're getting loads of followers? How did that happen?
Do I have it here? Well, we posted a picture.
Yeah.
We were posting for several weeks or months, I think, already. And then it was the tulip season and we did some photo shoots. And then we posted a picture of my daughter walking in the fields. And suddenly we never had so much likes on the picture.
Oh, really? So it was one specific photo. Wow.
And it went viral. And then we said, okay, I think we've got something that more people will like.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. There's nothing like a beautiful picture of flower fields to get people going on the gram, that's for sure.
Because you're selling across Europe, right? You're not selling into UK, I believe, but you are selling across Europe. Is that right?
Only EU countries.
Yeah.
Union countries. But we hope to serve UK one day, because it is possible. It is a bit of hassle, but it is possible. So we're trying to find a way to organize that in the near future. So yes, and US we did 2 years ago.
Okay.
For the moment, we don't do it. It's we are just too busy in Europe.
Well, not a bad thing at all, because you've also written a book, which obviously brings together lots of your advice on dahlias. And what I love about the book, it uplifts a lot of followers. You've got Instagram followers featured in there with some of their amazing photos, which is really, really nice, because, you know, you're sharing the love from your end as well.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. And it's a way to reach new customers.
Yeah.
We had one day an older man visiting our field, and he said, I had my birthday and I got the Dahlia book for my birthday. Yeah. He said, they have a website. So we went to the website and he said, I can visit. So we came to visit our field, but he never was on Instagram.
Wow, that's cool. How long did it take to put the book together?
Sorry?
How long did it take to put the book together?
A big project.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It took a bit more hours than we thought.
But it looks absolutely beautiful. And for anyone who is interested in growing dahlias, where can they find your book to buy?
Yeah, you can buy it on Amazon or bol.com or on our website. So if you Google it, you'll find some web shops who will sell it.
That's cool. Is it in some of the physical stores as well?
Some bookstores, but it will change every time. So I'm not sure. I don't have a list.
Yeah, that's cool. But no, it's a really, really nice book, I have to say.
Awesome.
Cool.
That's awesome. Where can listeners find out more about you? We've talked about your Instagram page, but what's the name of it and what's your website address for listeners to go and take a little peek?
Well, the name is the same as our company name. So it's FEM, from family flower farm, FAM flower farm. So we have that on the website .nl or .de or whatever. And Instagram is the same, Fem Flower Farm, all written together.
Cool.
Awesome.
Brilliant.
That's really awesome. Yeah, I definitely recommend listeners go and have a look, because if you want to be inspired by flowers, that's definitely the place to go. Very beautiful.
Brilliant. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for inviting us.
No worries.
And thank you for promoting the world of flowers as well.
Yeah, me too. Let's spread the world of the love of flowers all together.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey everybody, this is Ben Newell. I am a content creator and founder of Worcester Terrariums. I started my business in September 19, and it was just a side hustle alongside my day job, and I was just selling terrariums. I had to reevaluate my business when COVID hit because I simply wasn't able to sell terrariums, and I really switched my focus to content creation at this point. Since then, I've amassed quite a substantial following of 1.5 million people across all platforms. I mainly create short form content for Instagram and TikTok, but also longer form content on YouTube. Though YouTube is now, we have YouTube Shorts, so I also create short form content there too. Today, I'm going to talk a little about what a terrarium actually is. So in simple terms, a terrarium is a clear container that contains plants. This container is usually sealed, but not always. So inside the container, the humidity is high. And what happens is water evaporates from the soil level and transpires from the leaves of plants. It's then trapped within this container, which raises the humidity. And the fascinating thing about this is that it enables the creator to grow a range of plants and mosses that wouldn't be available to the everyday houseplant enthusiast. I mean, if you think about it, many of the plants we have at home are just tropical plants. They come from Asia, South America, but they're often too large-leaved to use in a terrarium. But there's a whole range of incredible plants that are small-leaved, slow-growing, that work perfectly well. But my favourite aspect of terrarium building is the ability to grow mosses. So if you were to try and grow mosses in your living room, it simply wouldn't work because it's not humid enough. It's not consistently damp, or at least it shouldn't be. But in a terrarium, that humid environment enables us to grow just the most fascinating mosses, from temperate species like bun moss, which is Lycobrium glaucum, to Dicranum scoparium, which is it's known as mood moss. They're just incredibly satisfying and wonderful, and they really make a terrarium pop. But more recently, I've been using aquatic mosses. So these are mosses that you would use in an aquarium. You can get them from most pet stores, but again, in the humid environment, they work perfectly well, or most of them do. My favourite to use are Java moss, which is Taxiphyllum barbieri, or Christmas moss. There are a few types, but Vesicularia montagni or Vesicularia dubiana. These grow a lot quicker, they're easy to propagate, and again, they just look absolutely fantastic in a terrarium. So that was a brief explanation as to what a terrarium is. Next time, I'm going to explain how you can make your own. It's a simple process, but there are a few things you have to get right. So I look forward to seeing you then.
Hello there, my name is Justine and I am one half of Poddy and Black. The other half is my sister Vanessa. Here at Poddy and Black we make fabulously colourful gardening shoes and boots. My New Year's resolution is to learn new things, so I'm going to start with knitting. I'm sure with practice I'll get the hang of it. Vanessa's resolution is to finish getting her dry garden planted up and watching it grow. And a resolution we both always like to stick to is eating more cake.
Hello, my name's Adam and I am a garden blogger, garden writer and podcaster. My New Year's resolution is to not go in every single garden centre that I go past or drive past. That's right, not even to go in and have a look at the cafe and then inadvertently buy plants and bulbs. So I'm going to try to force myself to not go in every single garden centre that I drive past.
Hi everyone, my name's August. I am the head tutor of the Raymond Blanc Gardening School at the 2 Michelin star hotel and restaurant Le Manoir in Oxfordshire. I am so ready for Christmas and also so ready to get sowing and growing in 2023. The plans are on fire right now and we're creating an incredible heritage garden at Le Manoir. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to getting my teeth into next year. But my New Year's resolution for myself for 2023 is to stop being such a seed hoarder, because I honestly don't think I could fit any more seeds into my house. We can't even have Christmas here this year because the seeds are filling the dining room. So that's my New Year's resolution, to stop buying so many seeds. But I can't help myself. But I hope everybody has the most incredible 2023. I hope you all have kitchens full of healthy homegrown produce, beds full of beautiful homegrown flowers, and I look forward to chatting to you all next year.
Hey, my New Year's resolution for gardening and plants and horticulture is maybe to plan ahead a little bit more. I'm so good at planning ahead when it comes to kind of office work and admin, but kind of like with the garden, sometimes things take me by surprise, like the snow last week. I left some tropical plants outside and they've met an untimely death. So yeah, I kind of think planning ahead, it's the same old thing. I'm great at advising it, but not very good at putting it into practice myself. So for me, my gardening resolution would be planning.
Hi everyone, it's Ellen here. My New Year's resolution is to do exactly the opposite of Michael's. So I hear that he's going to plan more. I'm going to do completely the opposite. I'm going to throw the rule book out. My New Year's resolution is to go with the flow of the moon. Yep, I am going to moon garden. So my New Year's resolution is to stop worrying about the spreadsheets that I do. I've literally done spreadsheets every year of all the plants that I'm growing, the date that I've sown them, all of those kind of things. And I've gone with, you must sow your parsnips during this time, or you should sow your tomato seeds during this time, and you must harvest them. I'm going to sow, plant, grow, care, and harvest by the cycle of the moon. So I'm going to just let all of the theory go and go with nature and see how it goes. So that's my New Year's resolution. Brought to you with Lava Light. Derived from volcanic deposits, Lava Lights can help you to nourish and protect your plants all year round. The collection comprises of 8 different horticultural growing media and pest control products. Look out for their colourful packs either online and in your local gardening stores.
The music for the Plant-Based podcast is part of the song Grow by Mikey James, and our editor is Gareth Patch of Semi Echo.